EV producers seek to stop the rapid EV surge and demand that petrol vehicles be allowed back on the roads. They only compete against their own EVs. The lack of infrastructure for EV charging is a major problem that political leaders would like you to be unaware of. Once touted as the vehicle of the future, electric vehicles are now collecting dust on dealer lots as no one wants to purchase them. The companies that produce these expensive cars are now disobeying explicit government directives, which is much worse. Political leaders have served us well enough. Let's return to producing goods that the general public find appealing and desires. However, why are EV producers rebelling? Do EVs lack credibility? Do you think you should even get one now? In addition to exposing the unpleasant reality about electric vehicles, I'll show you real-world examples of individuals who vowed never to purchase an EV again after becoming so angry and powerless over theirs. So this is what transpired. All of the big automakers have stopped producing electric vehicles, including Ford, Volkswagen, BMW, and even General Motors. They fear that if they continue to experience such losses, they'll be forced to close, and the only way they can continue to sell automobiles is by switching back to combustion engines. For every electric vehicle sold by General Motors costs the company $88,000, and CEO Mary Barra predicts that EV sales will not turn a profit for some time. And then there's the German giant Volkswagen. Sales of EVs are drastically declining there. Their EV interiors are all outdated and riddled with glitches in the software. Similarly for GM, sales are just flat out non-existent. Tesla is the only one left, having engaged in this activity for the longest. But any sane automaker would be able to easily spot the subpar design and large panel gaps everywhere. Above all though, let's talk about the EV market. Everyone says EVs are flying off the shelves, yet this is a fake promotion that you can easily see through if you visit any dealer's lot right now. The EV market is set for a catastrophic collapse. Yes, you read that right. The big manufacturers that had previously supported electric vehicles are now all backing out. They're sending a strong warning. We need to stop making EVs and go back to making gasoline-powered cars. And why the abrupt shift in opinion? It seems that electric vehicles are not as beneficial as many people had thought. The worst aspect that it has to do with is economics, especially for the middle class, rather than just the environment or technology. It turns out that many individuals cannot afford those outrageous EV prices. Ford and General Motors have been urged by the Biden administration to create more electric vehicles. With record-breaking sales of petrol and hybrid cars, they were doing well. Subsequently, they faced political interference. Businesses ceased to pay attention to their clients and started paying more attention to political figures. Joe Biden even helped Ford create electric vehicles by providing a $9 billion loan. So everyone started expressing their reservations, even though they had their own. And now, 4 years later, Ford is parked in dealer lots with a pile of almost 200,000 EVs collecting dust. And you would think that those who have already bought electric vehicles are ecstatic, wouldn't you? Well, it turns out that over 40% of EV buyers said that they would never want to purchase one again. They're tired of these electric cars breaking down too. That's right, you're totally mistaken to believe that EVs will operate well with all that fancy technology. Compared to dependable old petrol cars, EVs are twice as likely to shut down on you, since they have freshly constructed systems and rely largely on software. Even our own Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm expressed frustration with the insufficient charging infrastructure in recent research evaluating EVs for long road trips, and she did so in a beautiful Cadillac EV. Not even the cheaper, less selective choices come to mind. The majority of charging stations were crowded, some with broken chargers and others full, making for heated situations to the point that even a family that couldn't find a place to charge their car called the police. The journey uncovered significant holes in the billions of dollars the US government has spent on a statewide network of electric chargers. The worries included charger performance and dependability problems, as well as a lack of fast chargers in particular locations. The Wall Street Journal writer Rachel Wolf is another example. She said, "I spent more time charging my 4-day excursion in an electric car than I did sleeping." The journey, meant to investigate the viability of long-distance electric vehicle travel, became an exhausting one, including protracted charging periods. A dismal image is presented in a recent JD Power study. Think about the 20% of electric vehicle owners who visit a charging station and then depart with their battery level unchanged. Indeed, more juice isn't present. Don't we all enjoy numbers? The score in this game is decreasing. Customer satisfaction with level 2 and DC fast charging stations is at an all-time low, the lowest since JD Power started recording data in 2021. Finding a functional charger is one simple issue. Other considerations include charging time and cost. EV owners want faster DC chargers, but they're as rare as a quiet corner on Times Square. Moreover, observing the lower level 2 chargers is similar to observing paint dry. Moreover, using these public charging stations to recharge your EV can be more expensive than filling up your gas guzzler. Think about the irony. Those unsold electric vehicles we described before aren't simply collecting dust. They're burning a hole in the purses of the automakers. Large corporations such as General Motors, Ford, Hyundai, and Toyota find themselves in a boat that is swiftly sinking. Volkswagen's ID series is dormant, Ford's F-150 Lightning and Mustang Mach-E are piling up, and GM's new EVs aren't selling as well as expected. The leader in the EV market, Tesla, is cutting prices aggressively to stay in the race for market share. Let's start with Ford, which had grand ambitions to manufacture $35 billion worth of electric vehicles in Marshall, Michigan. That does sound rather good, doesn't it? Afterwards, though, they say, wait a minute, maybe not. Ford is now dubious about the idea overall, even with a $17 billion incentive package. They're worried about their ability to maintain this factory in a profitable manner. With the facility projected to produce a large number of EVs and help President Biden reach his goal of 50% electric car sales by 2030, it was anticipated to be a momentous occasion. All of a sudden, though, everything is in the air. Then there are General Motors and Honda. The EVs were supposed to be built for around $30,000. You know, reasonably priced electric vehicles for the general public. But guess what? Due to their exorbitant cost, electric vehicles have now been dropped from the proposal. The average price of an electric vehicle in July 2023 was $53,900 according to Kelley Blue Book. Getting into an electric vehicle is like trying to hop onto a moving train that's a little too high for a lot of people. Not only are these companies selling cars, but they're also increasing output and stopping the building of new facilities. For instance, Ford is delaying a sizable amount of their $15 billion EV pledge. GM is postponing their production of electric pickup vehicles, and Tesla is reevaluating a planned $1 billion factory in Mexico. What are people's thoughts on the Biden administration's prediction that electric vehicles will become the standard by 2030? Well, they're not exactly ecstatic. The government is advancing its goal, automakers are in a state of panic, and buyers are left scratching their heads. However, it made us stop and consider, should we force EVs on us if no one's purchasing them? See, there's a secret motive behind all of this for Joe Biden. With the presidential elections quickly coming, he wants to seem like a patriot who's willing to go to any lengths to uphold the rule of law. The president received a harsh letter from 4,000 dealers alerting him to the absurd state of the electric vehicle industry, which has infuriated everyone. Trump, on the other hand, has long called for a balanced approach to electrification. He referred to the drive for electric vehicles as absurd and pledged, should he win, to put an end to the madness. Unlike Biden, Trump believes that individuals should be able to choose what they drive and that gasoline vehicles should not be abolished entirely. And this is only the beginning of the EV makers' uprise against their own cars. Remember that the intention is to lessen pollution, not abolish gas-powered vehicles. The government shouldn't be forcing us to give up our gas-powered cars if they can't provide a suitable charging network or more affordable EV batteries. What are your opinions then? Do most EV owners wish to resume using gas-powered vehicles? Please leave a comment below to kick off the conversation and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.